Welcome to the Seer Show. Join us as we dive into the dynamic world of health, wellness, mindset, and fitness with the unparalleled guidance of lifelong knowledge seekers, Sifu Rafael and Nikki Gangemi. Sifu and Nikki will unlock groundbreaking insights with extraordinary guests from around the globe. You'll get the latest holistic approaches to well-being with a sharp focus on the powerful connection between mind, body, and soul. Get ready to take the leap. It's time to embrace a brighter and healthier future with us at the Seer Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Nikki. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. Good morning, Sifu. It's great to see you.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I am excellent. And how are you doing?
I'm exceptional and getting better every day.
Yes, you are. And you're donning a new do.
A new do, or less of a do.
Less of a do.
Less of a do. I'm excited. Look, we're already smiling. I cannot believe that it's a great time when we can start our day with laughter.
Yes.
It's one of the greatest joys that I have in my life. And today's topic is really interesting. It's laughter loss and living again. And I think laughter does bring that to us. It revives us. I think every time I have to laugh every day, otherwise my day was wasted.
Yes.
We have an exceptional human being that you know and you brought to us, and I am so happy. Thank you so much. Let's not waste any time and bring Beth on. Beth, good morning, Beth.
Good morning, rock stars. How are you?
Oh, I'm a rock star. Look at this.
Yes, you are. Yes,
I
you
am
are.
extra excellent now.
I can just see the heads growing now. It's good. It's good. The self-esteem is bursting. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love the topic, and you deal in laughter consistently. And it made me think when our little intro commercial was coming on, it made me think of something that a long, long time ago used to crack me up. And it was the Wendy's commercial, Where's the Beef? And you have the little old lady in the cab, and she's getting shuffled around in the back of the car, and she goes, Where's the beef? And it was so interesting because this lady was a nobody. And somebody got the idea to get a little old lady, and they paid her well to do that commercial. And it gave us all a little bit of a chuckle, but it was also a good campaign for them. And so somebody who was basically down on her luck was revived because they thought of something funny to bring back.
Absolutely. And the beauty of that whole thing that you just started with, Sifu, is that you still remember it. And you're telling the story and you're smiling as you're telling the story. That right there in itself shows the power of laughter right there. That was years ago. Yet it still brings some type of joy to you when you laugh, when you think about it or talk about it.
Yeah. Just think about it. There's a cab running around the city or wherever it is, and this little old lady shuffling in the back of the as it's turning, and she's like, "Where's the beef?"
I never knew that story, but they turned that into a T-shirt because for my brother's 4th birthday, we have a video of it. He got as one of his presents a T-shirt that said, Where's the beef? And my grandmother's holding it up and she goes, Where's the beef?
You see?
That's my
that had so many components to it. Not only was it funny, but it was funny because they took not a typical person that was in commercials. They took an older lady who was, being demanding and wanted to know, and it was funny, and it's shuffling her around, like you said, and to this day we still remember it. It's amazing how laughter stays with you.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's one thing that you go to, Beth, even on days that it's cloudy outside, it's rainy, it's people are like, oh, poor me, poor me. What's one thing that you go to say, I need some laughter, I need some sunshine in my life today?
Well, the first thing that I do in the morning, and so many people do this, is gratitude, right? Because what we do right away is when we wake up, we automatically go, oh, work, or, oh my gosh, you're going to be late for school, or, something to that effect. If you wake up 10 minutes earlier and even if you just stay in bed and do a gratitude wheel in your head right away before you hit your floor, your feet hit the floor, you're already in a different mindset. And really, that's what joy is a mindset, right? And what I help people do is, typically women, but I help anybody. I help them accept the joy, not find the joy, because joy is right there in front of you. But I help them accept the joy that's been hidden, whether they're hiding it or whether it's due to trauma or toxic relationships or burnout, whatever it is. So that's the first thing that I do is, before I even hit all those surrounding things that are going to be a little trying maybe during my day, I set myself up for success and joy right before I get out of bed.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that you said gratitude wheel. That's the first time
Mm-hmm.
I heard that. Can you share a little bit about that gratitude wheel?
Well, sure, because there's things that happen every day, right? That you're grateful for. My family, my home, I have a shower, I have food, I have blah, 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 blah. That's just right out the gate, right? But then there's the other things too that people don't think that they're should be grateful for, that are right there in front of them. Like, does anybody ever say thank you for my cell phone? Probably not, because they expect it, right? It's just one of those everyday occurrences. But we wouldn't be talking if we didn't have that. Or, hey, thank you for me being able to just go out with shoes on. Everybody goes for the big things. Okay, I did my gratitude. Thanks for my wife. Thanks for my husband. Thanks for my kids. Thanks for my health. Okay, I'm good. Thanks for my bed. How about that, right? So the wheel is just keep spinning, because every day you have something else to be grateful for that you're not opening your eyes to.
Right. Yeah, that's true. We do take the little things for granted until something like the power goes out for 3 days, like which happened this summer to some people.
Exactly. Now, during this summer, did I wake up every day with that my power wasn't out and say, oh, thank goodness I have electricity? No, right? Because I wake up, I flip that switch and I have electricity and I go on with my day and don't even think about it. So it's those little things that, people say, oh, God, I have to go to work. And I'm like, oh, God, are you lucky you have a job?
That's right.
Yeah, it can be trying, but if you're going to go in with that attitude, you're going to have a pretty messed up day.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. I got to be honest with you. Gratitude is part of my everyday. And it doesn't matter what time I wake up. And like you said, Beth, it's not about, thank you for my bank account. I don't even think
Mm-hmm.
about my bank account.
Mm-hmm.
I think about the fact that I'm awake, the fact that I have another chance to live, to make an impact, the fact that I can breathe, that I can see, that I can move my hands, that I can walk. So
Exactly.
it's tiny, tiny little things. And I pray for my family. I pray for those that I love and hold dear. And even if a friend reaches out and say, my mom is going through a hard time, or my friend or my daughter, whatever, I pray for them, even though I may not know them. So I pray for their help, for their journey that they're going through. So for me, gratitude is the only way I start my day. But it's also, it happens during the day as well. When I see things, when I feel things. And before I go to sleep at night, it's a whole thing. Sometimes I have to really summarize it, because otherwise I'll be up for hours.
Yeah, that's right.
But the gratitude is one of the things that so many people do take for granted. And you're right. They wake up and like, well, where's my coffee? Or, oh my God, I got to go to work, or I got to go to school, or oh my God, I got to deal with these people. But if you were in a hospital bed, what would you be praying for?
Absolutely.
Right?
Exactly. That's it. And you said something very important, is that you do your gratitude at night as well, as do I, because it has to be balanced, right? Because I've been in the psychology field for many years, and what people don't understand is how you go to bed is how you wake up. That's why they tell you don't look at your phone an hour before you go to bed, because your brain is still this, right? You go to bed in a bad mood, you're going to wake up in a bad mood. Because what happens is your subconscious mind opens up when you're sleeping, and then your conscious mind closes down, right? And then when you wake up, your subconscious mind closes and the conscious mind opens up. Well, what's it going to open up to? The same thing you put in it before you went to bed. So doing gratitude before you go to sleep, being thankful, being grateful, thinking of something in your day that happened that was great or good, at least if it wasn't a great day, will really help when you're on the back end when you're waking up.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's funny when somebody says, man, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I said, well, you got in the wrong side of the bed.
Absolutely.
Get on the other side.
That's it right there. Absolutely. You got in on the wrong side of the bed, or maybe the wrong bed. Who knows, right? So there's something to think about. But you're right. However you went to bed is how you got in on the wrong side. You're going to wake up on the wrong side.
Yeah.
So
That's a great
thinking
point.
about laughter, and I love this topic because I got to tell you, a lot of times I'm listening to audio, and there's always informational stuff. I'm always looking to learn, right? And I listen to a lot of different things, especially when I'm working out. I work out every single morning, right? The other morning at 2:30 in the morning, I could not go back to sleep. So I said, okay, I might as well get up. I put some stuff on. I went to my gym that was open and I worked out, but I was listening to things that were filling me. And I was like, I'm not even tired. I'm alive. But I did my journal. If you think of a journal, right? In my mind is I'm checking things off, but I'm also adding things to my list, if you will, of gratitude. And I was at the gym and there was like maybe 5, 6 people there. And I said, man, I am so fortunate to be able to be here and full of energy. Because I could have been, in a hospital bed or something like that, or not able to move. And so gratitude is one of the biggest things. But I think that if we can't laugh, even at ourselves, when we make a mistake, I think that's a sad time for anybody. And they have to find a way to find laughter. So when my fiance wakes up, she grabs her coffee, she puts on comedy. She puts on comedy. And I hear laughter if I'm home or if, I'm somewhere else. But I know that that's what she's doing because a lot of times I'll be in a different room and I'll hear laughter. And I'm like, oh man, this is cool. I said, she's always laughing. She's always doing that. And then at one point or another, we're making each other laugh. And so one day I turned around to her and I said, hey, why are you with me? And she turns around and she goes, because I love you. I said, no. I said, why? She goes, because you make me laugh every day. I said, okay, you got it.
Listen, that is such a powerful story, because laughter, people don't realize that, you say, oh, just laugh it off. And I've had this conversation with Nikki before. Like, I'm not saying, oh, gee, grandmom died. Oh, that's funny. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you can find the joy and laughter in everyday things, just like that story you just told, right? Then when these big events happen, you're better equipped to handle them. I'm not saying you're going to laugh through them, but your mode of operation, your trained mindset now to find the joy and the laughter in life. And laughter is known to have help stress. It releases dopamine and serotonin. And so for your fiance to start her day like that, she knows she's training her mindset, right? So she's releasing that dopamine and she's releasing that serotonin and she's getting rid of the cortisol levels are going down. This is just basic science, right? It's not, so like I said, I'm not saying, oh, just go laugh it off, because some things you can't laugh off.
Right.
So that's a great story in the fact that she knows that if she does this, she's starting, and that's what you do for her, and it's the power. And laughter strengthens connection. Like, did you ever go out and watching a funny movie by yourself is not the same as watching it with a loved one or a friend, right? Like, you're laughing together, you're connecting, you're laughing at the same thing. Like, look at us in this little conversation. We were laughing. So it really does make a connection, and that's what happened with your fiance and yourself.
Well, we were laughing before we started the show.
I know, exactly, right? Which probably, I would say, and you guys do this all the time, to have, and that's why I say, even when you're giving keynote speeches, to strategically put humor in it, because people will respond better to humor, their stress goes down, and they hold information better when they're in a positive mindset, in a positive mood. It's just the way the brain works. So I'm sure you guys do this a lot. Perhaps you've had a guest that has been, I don't know, miserable, maybe not, but if you had to get, it would be a harder conversation to go because that connection wasn't established from the beginning.
Yeah.
No, we don't even let him on the show. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, get out. Show's over. Click.
Eject.
Eject. Yeah, hit the eject button.
That'd be good if I could hit the eject button, the person would fly.
It goes flying.
Oh, that is really funny.
I would just shake the camera.
Yeah, exactly. And off they go. It's like, okay, I guess that's the show. So
Yeah.
But yeah, think about, so for example, and yes, as a storyteller, right, I love stories because they really impact the way we think about things. And also anytime, as you're a professional speaker, I'm a professional speaker, we understand the value of a good story that helps somebody see a complicated thing simply because it's unfolding in a story. And when I think of laughter, I think of my brother, who passed when he was 42, very young. But when I leave my bathroom, his picture's right there, and I did that on purpose, so I can see him. I see him every day, right? And my gosh, the man was the funniest person I knew, and always with laughter, always making other people laugh. I mean, it was sometimes he would make so much fun that sometimes his wife, if they're walking through the mall and she forced him to go to the mall because he didn't want to go, then he would be like a little kid in the mall and jumping around. And this is a man, right? And she's like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed to be with you. You're acting like a child. And he'd be like, oh, and doing all these silly things. But he always brought laughter to everywhere he went. And so once he passed, I was very fortunate, and so was the rest of my family, that we had 2 weeks before he passed, right? Because he had this blood disease of some sort that he caught. And we were able to hang out with him. And so I was alone with him. And, he told me how he loved me and I loved him and all that. But even then, he was smiling. And he said, I'm very lucky that I know I'm going to be going. But I want to leave this world knowing that I got a chance to say goodbye to you. And so at his funeral, I'm Spanish, right? I'm Colombian. And Colombians, Italians, and some other generations, other ethnicities, they throw themselves on the tombstone or they cry and they get crazy. One of my sisters could not admit that he passed, and she wanted to take him out of the coffin. I mean, it was bad. It was bad, right? But when she finally calmed down, and I said to her, I said, consider that he lived a short life, but it was a great life. Remember all the times he made us laugh. Remember how we could not stop laughing. And that particular sister is a hysterical woman. She's funny as anything. and she's always making us laugh. So I don't know if she took on the role of what he left, but it was pretty impactful to see the difference of how people see the loss of a person, right? But she could not accept it. Meanwhile, I was grateful for him. And that's why his picture sits in front of my bathroom as I leave my bathroom, go into my bathroom. Sometimes just walking down my hallway and I look at him and I'm like, wow.
And it makes you smile.
Absolutely.
And you don't know, probably what you said to her is what probably a switch went off in her head. And all of a sudden the baton was passed to her. Now she's the funny one. I remember when my father passed away, and my father was a hysterical man as well. He was he was an actual motivational speaker, and he did everything with humor. This is where I learned my personality from, I think. But when he passed away, same thing. We knew he was going, blah, 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 blah. And so when he passed away, somebody said to me, I was like, oh yeah, you're going through the motions. You have to make the arrangements. And somebody came up to me and they said, I loved your dad. He was great. Tell me, what is your favorite memory of your father? And you know what? I'm telling you, my whole mindset, I started to smile. I started to actually laugh. I told a story and I could just feel the pain leave my body because he wanted me to hold on to that, just exactly what you did to your sister, right? Like, again, mindset, like looking for accepting the joy that you had from this man rather than, rejecting it because he's no longer here.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a great
There's
story.
an image of my sister and she's wearing glasses and she stuffed tissues underneath each lens. And she goes, I love this movie. And she's crying. So she put them there so she didn't have to keep
Have to keep going like this.
That was a good
But
idea.
it's the most funniest picture I've ever seen of her, right? Wearing her glasses with tissues underneath it so it catches her. But she was watching a movie.
I
that
see
she
an
loved.
invention coming on. Let me write this
I
down.
was just thinking that. How is that not invented yet?
Sifu's going to see us all of a sudden with this big invention. He's going to be like, I think they stole my idea.
Not mine, my sister's. But it's called tissue glasses. I'm just kidding. But if you think about the things that we do that are crazy funny, yet we try to quiet the funny out of people. We tell them, don't do that. Don't be ridiculous. Think about if you remember the show Mork and Mindy, right? Robin Williams. Robin Williams, I believe, used to be a high school teacher, which my brothers had. And
Really?
I think he was a gym teacher. Unless my brothers lied to me because I was little. And
They're like, Mork was my teacher.
Yeah, and they said he used to walk around the hallway with the keys, but swinging them around and being funny the whole time. Right? This is what my brothers told me, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then they're like, yeah, that's my teacher on TV, and so both my brothers said it, and so, but if you think about the humor that this man can just out of nowhere just come up with things, and then the pain that this man was in to take his own life, which was beyond sad. And just because somebody's laughing on the outside, that doesn't mean that they're laughing on the inside. So we sometimes have to consider that laughter may be something that we have to question sometimes. And
Yeah.
he's the one that made me think of that, right?
So I always say that anybody can be, I used to counsel women that were in domestic relationships, and they'd be like, oh, but he's so nice. And I used to say, and this is to your point, I used to say, anybody can be who they want for a short period of time. Look at an interview, right? So I go in for an interview, I will tell you, I'm a hard worker. I am very punctual, right? I'm very punctual. I'm great on the computer. Right? But I'm going to tell you and I'm going to convince you in that 30 minutes that I'm talking to you that that's the person that I am. Anybody can do that. And that's to your point with Robin Williams. When he was on, he could be whoever he wanted to be. But behind the curtain, he was dealing with pain, and he didn't have obviously, and depression can be clinical as well, which means like that's biological, right? So he wasn't coping with it behind. His coping skill was the stage. But you can only do that for so long because it wasn't really how he felt. It really wasn't who he was, right? So anybody can be who they want in a short period of time. It's behind the scenes when the real person comes out that they either need help or they need coping skills or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've experienced that. I've actually been told by a couple of people in my life that I laugh when it's not appropriate to laugh.
At funerals, exactly.
And I have found that sometimes there's laughter first, followed by tears.
Well, Nikki, there's a fine line between crying and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when my mother-in-law was going through Alzheimer's, I'd make jokes, right? Like, oh, she doesn't remember me today. She forgets she loves me, but whatever. And I used to tell people, if you don't laugh, you're going to cry. Because there's that fine line between the both of them, right? Because they're both severe emotions, right? Like they're both big emotions, laughter and everything. And laughter can be soothing. My girlfriend, she still brings this up, fell down my steps. And the first thing I did was laugh. Why was that my response? Because I was nervous, and laughter automatically it's a mechanism that soothes you, right? That okay, this isn't as bad, haha. Laughing at funerals, like you said, you laugh at inappropriate times. That's something that is your body telling you, okay, before you go in, it's your defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Right? It's your defense mechanism. Otherwise, you might go, and that's not helping anybody. Yeah, and lose it. So that's your brain telling you defense mechanism. Let's soften this a little bit, and then you can approach what's happening.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Laughter has a lot of benefits. It's not just, people will tell me, yeah, but, that's just not funny. I'm going through something that's not funny. And that's true. Like I said, that's absolutely true. We all go through stuff that's just not funny. That's why mindset, and this was from, I think Jim Rohn had said this, positive thinking and mindset, positive mindset is like taking a bath. You have to do it every day. Otherwise, it gets stinky. Right? If you don't take a bath every day, your body gets stinky. You don't give your mind, like Sifu, you said, I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm always doing this. You don't give your mind, I don't care if you're reading 10 pages out of a positivity book a day. That's good. You don't give your mind a positivity wash every single day, you will absolutely start to get a stinky mind. And then that becomes your mode of operation.
Yeah. Mental hygiene. It's a thing.
Absolutely. Mental hygiene right there.
Yeah.
And people don't realize how the small steps really do affect how you react or what your mode of operation is. See, what you have to understand, what I like to tell people is our factory setting, our default setting is happiness and joy. And you see that in children, right? You'll see a 3-year-old just walk up to another 3-year-old. They don't care what color they are. They don't care what gender they are. They don't care who their parents voted for. They don't care any of that stuff. They just want to laugh and run and play. Because they have not been marred by their own thoughts, by the words of other people, by society, by social media. All they want is happiness. Well, we have that inside of us. We just squish it down, right? And we just pile everything on top of it, work and problems. And look at what they wrote on social media. And look at this. And that's what we give the attention to.
I love this conversation. I think that what you just talked about is washing the brain. I thought of a comedy as the toothbrush to clean our brain, right?
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I love that.
It's true.
And, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, when you're down, and I think, Nikki, you and I may have talked about this before, when you're down and your girlfriends or whatever, your friends say, come on, let's go out. We're going to go to a comedy show, or we're just going to go out and have some laughs. And at the end of the night, 9 times out of 10, you're turning to that person and going, thanks, I needed that, right? You showed me the joy that I can accept. Right? I do have a lot of joy around me in spite of what I'm going through. And you're right, it's like washing your brain. And sometimes it's a temporary wash that you just need to come in. What people have to remember, too, is I like to tell them between stimulus and response, there's a space.
Yeah.
And in that space is when you decide with your mindset how you're going to react to every situation, right? Sometimes it's a split second space, and other times it's, you know what, let me get back to you before I respond. You have a little bit more time. But there is a space between the stimulus and the response. And laughter helps you train your brain and your mindset to make sure that that space is done with gratitude, happiness, and joy in some form.
Yeah, in that space we have a choice. It's like
Exactly. That's where your choice is. That's where your
Yeah.
choice lies.
Mm-hmm.
I had a young lady on my show. It's probably like 4 or 5 years ago in UK, and she ran. I believe it was called the Laughter Lab, but it wasn't a comedy place.
Mm-mm.
It was for people who were dying,
Mm.
and it was so that she can bring laughter to them. And what a beautiful thought and idea to bring joy to people in a situation where they knew they were going to be going anytime. It could have been like next week they're going to die, but we're going to make them laugh today, you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was beautiful.
Yeah.
And these were people who they knew they were going to be gone. So, and I kind of said to her, why you were not wasting, but why are you taking your energy into those people? And I think her response was beautiful because she said, because they matter. Because I may have just met them for the first time, but they were either a grandparent, a parent, they
Mm-hmm.
were a child, somebody loved them, they were a spouse. And when we bring joy and happiness to another person, instead of them saying, oh, I'm going to die anyway, why do I have to laugh? But they would just do all these crazy fun things for them. And I said, man, I got to tell you that I would love it. And there's been so many movies on it that they died happy. They died with a smile on their face. And that's the best way to go, I think, if we are going to go, to go with a smile.
Well, that's true, absolutely. Because what people don't realize is, in my experience, is that everybody has a story to tell, and everybody's story is going to help somebody, even if it's one person. It's going to someone's going to resonate with it. Someone's going to say, you know what, I like that you did that, and that's how I'm going to do whatever. So when somebody dies unhappy, unfortunately, they don't realize the impact that maybe they had or their story had. When somebody dies happy, they're satisfied with their life. I love that this lady did that, actually, and that they're dying happy is just, contentment, and it obviously helps the loved ones that are left without them, right? To know that they died happy, to know that they, like you said with your brother, how fortunate were you really to be able to say everything you needed to say, give every hug you needed to give. Not many people are that fortunate, right? I remember when my dad was passing away, and this goes to show you the type of person he was. He was the most positive. My dad had one leg shorter than the other. He contracted osteomyelitis when he was 15, so he wasn't quite done growing. So his one leg was a little shorter, yet he was a great salesman and a great motivational speaker. And he loved life. And I remember when he was dying and he was in his bed and he said, I know that I'm going to heaven, but I can't imagine how great heaven is because my life has been so great. I can't imagine it being any better than my life was. Oh, right? I was like, wow, Dad. Like, talk about putting people into perspective. You know what I mean? Things into perspective. I was like, wow, like here he went through the depression, was born in the depression, one leg shorter than the other, had it. But that was his mindset. Like, my life has just been so great. How could it be? And I'm sure he found out. I'm sure now he's like, oh, it was pretty great up here. But he thought his life was just the bomb. And I just took that with me. I was like, that's who I want to be. And that's what I mean when I say everybody has a story. You are going to affect somebody somehow in a positive way if you just let your light shine.
Yeah. He chose to see his life as, this is so great. I can't imagine it being any greater.
Absolutely. And you know what he was doing? He was giving the credit to us. He wasn't taking the credit like, I made my life fantastic, you know? He was like, how could my life be any better than it was? And he wasn't being cheesy about it. He was sincere. And he was like, I have great kids. I had a great wife. She passed before him. And I mean, this has just been an amazing ride. And he was giving all the credit to us, which, quite frankly, it was all him. Like, really. So
that's gratitude right there, right?
Absolute gratitude in a nutshell. That's the definition of gratitude. And I always said, if you look up gratitude in the dictionary, my father's picture is next to it, because you're right. That's how he lived his life.
Now I know. Now I know.
That's him. That's him.
I was wondering, you know.
I was wondering who this strange man was. It's my dad.
I finally got the loop closed on that.
Exactly.
So when we think about loss, right? And we've talked about loss, we talked about laughter, and then living again. When we think about people that go through hard times, right? Whether it is a loss of a family member, a loved one, a child, it's very, very important for somebody to find their spark again. And I believe that the laughter helps it. It doesn't fully cure it, I think. I think it's the mindset that they have to go through to understand. I'm going to share another story with you. And my fiance's mom passed. I'm incredible. I loved her so much. I felt like she was my mom. She was definitely not my mom. But she passed, and this poor woman suffered at the end, right? Last 3 years of her life, she really suffered. And I'm driving in my fiance's car, and she's laughing at something or whatever, and the next second she's crying. And I said, why are you crying? She goes, my mom just died, and here I am laughing. And I said, she said before she finished, she goes, and here I am laughing. What's wrong with me? I said, do you think your mom would see you right now and think something is wrong with you? Your mom loved you so much. I loved your mom. And I know that your mom would be happy to see you smiling, for you to remember the good things that you went through with. So throughout my place, there's pictures of her mom, and I love them. And she was such a beautiful woman. And so a lot of times I'll bring up her mom more than she brings up her mom. And and I said, remember when your mom did this or whatever? So we did a recording of her mom and I. And it was a little bit of a song, and we kind of both sang. She and I sang it together, and we recorded it. And we were going to make that the voicemail when somebody called, and that was going to be my fiance's voicemail. And
That's
it
great.
was like, I'm calling. You know, it was kind of a funny thing. And then not too long ago, I said, you still have that recording? He goes, yeah. I said, play it. And she played it. Oh my God, we had such a good time laughing and remembering when we recorded it. And her mom was just laughing while we were recording. And she goes, you're so silly. You're so crazy. And I said, yeah, but aren't you having fun? And she said, yeah. So I always bring up her mom because her mom was very serious, but knew how to have a good time, knew how to laugh. And I think that for her to remember that and remember her mom that way helped her get through that emotional time where she felt bad that she was laughing.
And that's so powerful, because she was guilty in the beginning. Like, oh, I shouldn't be laughing. Well, why? Who told you that? Like, society tell you that, or that's not the norm, so to speak, right? And it goes back to the story that I told you before. Like, when you remember these memories, I have a friend whose father, I have one of my dad's voicemails as well, but my one friend has a voicemail of her dad who, on one of her birthdays, sang happy birthday to her voicemail. And she saved it all these years. And every year, she listens to it once a year, on her birthday, oh, I got goosebumps. She plays that voicemail, and she says, "I don't cry, I smile." You know what I mean? Because, oh, dad. And then she starts thinking of all the good memories of her dad, and that he took the time to send this so many years ago, and she still has it. And then that gratitude comes out and everything. So to your point, it's soothing. That goes back to my point of laughter can be soothing. Do you know what I mean? In hard times. That's great.
Yeah, I love that story.
Yeah, that's great. And people don't realize that it's little things like this that can actually get them through these hard times. Now, it doesn't even have to be a day where your fiance is sad about her mom. She could be having a hard day and just listen to that little blurb, and it'll get her through. It'll make her laugh. It'll get her through whatever, right? So it's really very powerful.
It sure is. Absolutely. And every time when we think of somebody, even if they're present or gone, we should consider how they made us feel.
Yep.
Hopefully it's in a light way, right? Because I'm sure there's people in our lives that made us feel terrible. And do we think of them often? We probably should let that go. Don't think of them that much, but think of the people that brought laughter to your life, right? Think of the people or the moments in your own life where you may have created laughter. Every chance that you get, it's okay to smile. And I say, yesterday I was on a show, and somebody said something about everybody's looking for miracles. And that's all they want. They want a miracle. And I said, yeah, but they're forgetting to find the miracle. The fastest way to find a miracle is just to look in the mirror. Because you are a miracle.
Yep. It's so true. You know, to your point, I reminds me of something I read one time where they said, nobody will remember what you did. They'll always remember how you made them feel. Emotions take precedence always.
Yes.
Emotions can get us down, and emotions can get us up, right? So remembering how somebody made you feel is, which is why you try to go out there and make people feel good, right? I don't want to. You want to pass that forward.
Yeah, we forget the exact words or what they did, but that feeling is sticky.
The feeling will always take precedence.
Stays, yeah.
And you're right. How many times have you told a story and say, I remember what they said, but it was so funny. Or I remember what they said, but, they said something like, don't worry, blah, 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 right? But it got me over the hump, right? Like I told you the story about what the guy said to me. It wasn't exactly what he said. He didn't say, but he said something to me that made me evoke that emotion about my dad being gone, because I wanted to feel good. And yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I have a thing coming up, and I'd like to share it with you. Take a look.
Let's get after this. Leadership isn't a title. Pressure makes leaders. Unified leadership. Unified leadership.
Pressure makes leaders. Fire reveals truth. Forged in the struggle, built to break through. Unified leadership. We stand when it's hard. Different voices, one vision. Together we spar. Built through connection, stronger as one. Changing tomorrow by what we've begun.
Unified leadership. Feel the fire ignite. When leaders unite, the future burns bright. Sifu, Rafael, with the vision and voice. Built through discipline, pressure and choice. Coach T.O. Clay, battle tested and tried. Turning trials into purpose, helping leaders rise. Pressure
Doesn't break you,
it reveals you.
you are the steel. Pressure makes leader, 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 leader.
Unified leadership. Raise the bar, raise the bar. Unified leadership.
Boom.
I was just getting into it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I know, it had me moving.
That's it. We're always looking for a chance to impact, aren't we? I mean, Nikki's constantly helping people. And I love what she says, and she's going to tell us in a little bit of what she does and how you can reach out to her. And Beth, you're an amazing human being, and I'm so happy that Nikki introduced us, and I hope that you and I will stay connected ever. Right?
Absolutely. Thank you
Because
so
you
much.
are so passionate, and I love passionate people. Thank you, Nikki, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I have Beth's book in my head because I love the titles. I'd love for you to share a little bit about that.
Oh, of course. Yeah, thank you. So I wrote a book. It's actually over there. I don't know if I can reach it. I wrote a book. Let me get it. Hold on. So this book is called Laughter is an Instant Vacation.
Ooh, love
This
it.
is a book. It's actually an ode to my father. It's everything I learned as a mental health professional and what I've learned in my life and what I learned from my father. It's a funny book. It's a short book. It kind of just, it's a humorous guide to a positive mindset, gives you some coping skills. It's just a mindset 101. And I wrote that. And when you read it, you guys have had a conversation with me. I've been told that when the reader reads it, they feel like they're actually talking to me. You know, it's actually my words, my personality. I don't
Love
know if
it.
that's good or bad, but it's there. It's in there. Okay.
It's definitely a good thing. Just even
Thank you.
spending, our first conversation and now this hour with you, you've had us laughing the whole time. So
Thank
Yeah.
you. Well, you guys are rock stars, as I said, in your own right. So, yeah, so that's what this book is. And the next one I wrote was, I was actually a contributor to this one, volume 6 of the Start Over movement. And this is Turn Any Loss into a Sensational Comeback. I have a chapter in this book. And what this book is about is it's not exactly, this isn't the funny flair. So this book has authors, people from all around the world who have gone through some form of loss or some form of trauma or drama and have come out the other side and what they're doing because of what they went through. This is what I was talking about before. Everybody has a story. And so somebody approached me on this to do this. There's, I think, 11 volumes now. I'm in volume 6. And it just goes to show something that I went through in my life, how I came out, how I started to, how my journey started and how my journey proceeded for me to be here today talking to you guys, right? Everything's a journey.
it is.
It is.
Love that.
Yep. So those are the two books. Thanks for asking.
Sure.
Yeah, this is awesome. And do us a favor. Tell us a little bit about you. You have 45 seconds because unfortunately we're going to end the episode. But yeah, 45 seconds. Tell us a little bit about you and how somebody can reach out to you and connect.
Oh, great. Thank you. So 45 seconds. I don't think I've ever talked anything in 45 seconds. Okay, let's talk fast. Okay. So I do help people accept the joy in their life, right? I started off with helping guys, he said, domestic violence. And I realized that not everybody needs to be diagnosed with something. So some people just need to bring some joy in their life and get their mindset straight. So now, and that includes leaders, that includes everyday people, that includes people struggling, that includes just everyday waking up in life. So you can find me on my LinkedIn, Beth Dodd. And on Instagram, I'm actually under Funny Sister. My business is Funny Sister LLC. And I just teach people how to strategically place humor in their lives and get through any trauma or drama that they may be having.
Love it. Love it. That was under 45 seconds. See?
Oh, wait, let me go. No, like, you owe me time. No,
The old adage of less is more, it really is, because the impact that we can create with the value of what we deliver, I think it's important. Nikki, you're up, my dear.
Thank you, Sifu. And I'm Nikki Gangemi. You can connect with me at nikkigangemi.com. I'm a personal trainer for your mind. And I help people with the overthinking, the self-doubt, the inner pressure that they put on themselves. I help them to stop it and change the patterns that are driving those behaviors. So you can make those clear, confident decisions and actually enjoy life outside of work.
Love it. Love it.
Turn it over to Sifu.
Awesome.
I'm easy to find. SifuRafael.com. Couldn't get easier. When I think about my life and my purpose is to help as many people as I possibly can. That's what God has put in my heart and in my mind. And so I help people with communication, because I do have a communication school. So I work with speakers and CEOs and all that kind of stuff. But I also have a Sifu's Mind Body Method where I teach people how to live better and be part of the legacy that they want to leave behind, but how to do it in an authentic way. And for me, with 10 shows, it's always about bringing the right people into the mix and having the right co-host. Like Nikki is an incredible co-host. And do us a favor. Somebody here is the right person for you to connect with. It could be any one of us. But the most important thing that you can do for a friend, a neighbor, even somebody you don't like so much, maybe they'll become a better person. Share this episode with them. Bring laughter to them. Let them know that this was something that maybe even had you thinking about why laughter is so important, and gratitude. And it doesn't matter what you're going through. There's light at the other side. So thank you, ladies. This was exceptional.
This was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I've enjoyed this. Thank you.
Beth, did I mention that I have a bunch of other shows that you need to be on?
Actually, Nikki mentioned it to me when I spoke with her. She said you have quite an array of shows. I love that.
Yeah. Let's get on.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. All right. God bless everybody. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and we will see you.
Yes, this was awesome. Thanks, you guys, so much. I'm so glad that we're connected.
Same.
Yes.